with passion and pride. You must also respect the game. Please refrain from using offensive language towards players, coaches, or match officials. And remember, throwing off any objects onto the field of play is strictly prohibited. Let's keep the Ray and Nephew Jamaica Premier League safe and enjoyable for everyone. Waterhouse would like to thank their very supportive sponsors: Tangled Metals, Dairy Industries, Spectrum Systems Limited, Select Brands, The Cinco, through your product, Empower, Virgin Deer, ICWI, and National Bakery. Let's take a look at the starting for both teams, starting with the visiting team, Treasure Beach, number 31, Morgan, number 80, Chandel Anderson, the captain, number 7, Kareem Bryan, number 10, Jaheim Harris, number 12, Lejon Livingston, number 16, Navarro Blair, number 19, Daniel Hardy, number 20, Johnny Flemings.
Every $25,000 you save with iSave earns an entry to win cash or a new home of your own. The more you save, the more entries you get, and every entry has a chance to win a brand new home of your own. VM iSave is the key to winning.
Here's to the early risers. And we are here all-nighters, the go the extra milers, and let's do it until it works, workers. People who are powerful, because they power through, day after day, challenge after challenge. You see, true power is not something you can buy or collect. It's something that starts on the inside, and you always know it when you see it. Sunshine Snacks Peanuts, proud supporters of the powerful.
Ray and Never, feel we culture, yo!
New beginning, we winning, so share our spirit where you living, yeah.
Share it!
I make we all a one bar, you don't know we come from far.
From far, anytime we rep, feel we country. Rear rum, it have to come with me.
No matter with the bad vibes.
Poor rear rum, a celebration time.
I feel we culture. Make we show ya Jamaican culture.
Ray and Nephew, overproof from we just a do it to we culture.
A CB chicken, a better way. Introducing air chill chicken. It have more flavor, you don't know what you're missing. It tastes better, full of flavor in the kitchen. Better value, better taste, better chicken. CB chicken, tastes way better. Air chilled chicken, taste way better. Better value, better taste, better chicken. No antibiotic and hormone free. Have you tasted the new air chilled chicken? Or my chicken nut? CB chicken, it tastes way better.
I save from VM Building Society. Every deposit got me here. Every step forward put me in the driver's seat.
For everything you're looking forward to, open an iSave account today. Visit gotomyvm.com to get started.
Every $25,000 you save with iSave earns an entry to win cash or a new home of your own. The more you save, the more entries you get, and every entry has a chance to win a brand new home of your own. VM iSave is the key to winning.
Here's to the early risers, and we are here all-nighters, the go the extra mile.
Diane, number 50, Neron Barrow.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen.
Number 51,
Welcome to live coverage of the Jamaican Premier League, where we have Waterhouse, the host today at the Waterhouse Mini Stadium. They're about to take on Treasure Beach FC, all the way from the western part of the island. Promises to be an exciting clash between two teams at the opposite ends of the table. Waterhouse, following their victory earlier against Harbour View just a couple days ago, They're currently, did find themselves third and now fourth following Portmore United's win today against Spanish Town. Treasure Beach, however, they find themselves mired at the bottom of the table, 13th position, 2 points behind Harbour View, who lost earlier in the afternoon, lost 4-0 to Dunbeholden. Promises to be an exciting clash, however. Leger, your thoughts on the upcoming game?
Yeah, massive clash, and I think the importance of it has been heightened by the result that you just mentioned. Dunbeholden getting the better of Harbour View by 4 goals to nil. A huge opportunity possibly now for Treasure Beach to get themselves out of the bottom 3. Bottom 2, I should say. Getting a bit used to saying 3. But Treasure Beach, as I said, massive opportunity. It will be tough, especially against this Waterhouse team that has been in such good nick ever since Javier Einstein has come in as the head coach. He has provided stability, not only in terms of their personnel or their ethos and their way of playing, but also tactically as well. Treasure Beach, they haven't been in the best of form, and I think they've chosen possibly the worst possible time to go into this type of form. 9 games now without a victory. Oh, how timely would one be tonight? It's Jamaica Premier League action, streamed live on the Jamaica Premier League YouTube channel, going out to so many across the world. And you're in for a treat with this game between Waterhouse and Treasure Beach.
To stand for the playing of the national anthem of Jamaica.
There we can see the lineups for both teams. Waterhouse coming in. Akeem Bernard is in goal today for Roger Williams. Kimani Campbell scoring off the back of scoring the winner against Harbour View. He starts. Rashawn Amos, Alexander Bicknell, Leonardo Thomas, Cardell Bembo, Colorado Mori, Shamari Daya, Naren Barrow, Ajuma Johnson, and Stevan Johnson complete the rest of the lineup. For Treasure Beach FC coming in now, we have Moe Morgan in goal, Shandon Addison as usual captain in the team, Kareem Bryan, James Harris, LaJean Livingston, Navardo Blair, Daniel Hardy, who scored last time out, Johnny Flemings, Nicholas Lawrence, Damani Miller, and Orion Titus. And as the captains sort out who will be kicking where and who will be starting off the game, we did see the lineups there, and a noticeable absentee for Treasure Beach, of course, is Ryan Porter, who has been out of the team recently, and he's out of the team again today. But in his place, can Daniel Hardy step up for the goals that have been missing in his absence?
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. He has been stepping up in a big way, not only in terms of his goal scoring, and it won't be reflected through his assists, but his creativity and ball carrying ability has certainly helped this Treasure Beach team loads. Colorado Murray has been stepping up big time since making the move from Harborview to this Waterhouse team, and his goals have been very timely as well. And it certainly is a relatively rotated Waterhouse team. Bicknell and Ajuma Johnson will be a pretty interesting midfield pair. Let's see if that has enough midfield bite and defensive solidity. Let's see if Treasure Beach can take advantage of that if possible.
And the match commissioner is Mr.
But so much to look forward to, such intrigue tactically, especially in this game. I certainly can't wait for it. It's only moments away from getting underway.
Most definitely. Both teams in a bit of a contrast to forms at the moment. Waterhouse, one of the most dominant teams in terms of form over the closing portion of this season. They have 3 wins in a row, and that represents 3 wins in their last 5 games. One of the better defensive teams in the league as well, second best defensively statistically. And Treasure Beach, however, as you mentioned before, rightly so, 9 games without a win will prove to be an uphill battle for them.
Yeah, this Waterhouse team coming off of the back of 3 consecutive 1-0 wins. I think that just goes to show what they're all about, how solid they are defensively, and how they have an innate ability to grind out results as well, as we're off in what promises to be quite a game.
Murray to Dyer. And we mentioned 3 1-0 wins. Should they need goals, they do have it. Of course, Colorado Murray, as mentioned before, has stepped up in a big way, as you rightly said, has 11 on the season. And should they need him, Javane Bryan also is on the bench, former Golden Boot winner, of course. Has been the top scorer in this competition already before. And Mario Sims, surprisingly, off the bench, mostly playing in midfield, has registered 5 on the season. They do have some firepower to go around. Not necessarily a team known for being that expansive going forward, but they do have players that can hurt you. Of course, Neron Barrow has had a couple of big performances thus far in important games, and this is such one. Now he has the ball here. Speaking of Barrow, trying to find Benbow, lost position. Here's Kareem Bryan. It's it now. And Bryan gets it back. Out to Captain Anderson. Looking downfield, trying to get it into the path there of, I believe, Nicholas Lawrence, but unable to.
You know, Treasure Beach, as I mentioned before, without a win in their last 9 games, but I personally think they're a much better team than that, a much better coached team than that as well. Kemar Ricketts not on the bench tonight, but of course would have transmitted his ideas onto this team. They're a high-pressing team, man-to-man, very patient in possession, can create chances. And despite their current positioning in the table in 13th, certainly can pose a great threat to whichever team they've come up against. You can ask Mount Pleasant about that. Treasure Beach coming out with a 2-all draw against Mount Pleasant in their last game, a game which Mount Pleasant had to come back from 2 goals down in. Waterhouse having some problems playing out early, but Harris unable to get that one under his spell, and Waterhouse can try and build once more.
Amos to Johnson, and he will put that out of play. And a bit of pressure there. Now it's Miller trying to put it into the path of Harris there, but wasn't the greatest pass in the world. Amos to Campbell, as I mentioned before, scored that winner in the last game against Harborview, and now it's gone all the way through almost for Murray, but good defending in the end by Titus at the back there. Miller to Anderson, back to Miller. Pretty tidy midfielder this one, but the pass there not on the money. Here's Benbow driving forward at the defense. Pass a bit behind Murray there on that occasion. Brian finds Daniel Hardy out wide. Oh, good move here, but stopped in its tracks by a poor pass there by Jaheim Harris.
Can already see the intent from Treasure Beach whenever they get the ball, trying to open up space and exploit it as quickly as possible. And also looking to squeeze this Waterhouse team, not trying to give them the space and freedom to build up effectively. But they have found some space here through Barrow dropping off the line, but he's giving it up.
Kareem Bryan looks really neat and tidy on the ball just a few moments ago, but he's giving it away now. Leonardo Thomas. Saucy player on the ball himself. Gets it out wide to Dyer, to Juma Johnson. Bicknell. Waterhouse, I have to say, at the back here do look a bit shaky on the ball. And Bicknell almost surrendered possession in a pretty dangerous area, but thankfully it's a foul for him.
Yeah, and I think Waterhouse currently not quite settling in possession because of the squeeze that we're seeing from Treasure Beach, not allowing them any easy passes or freedom when playing out from the back. You can see Jaheim Harris sticking on to Bicknell, not allowing that progressive option. Moy Morgan calm there in possession.
Not the best idea or execution on that clearance there from Anderson. Almost put himself in danger, but Livingston heads that back to Morgan. Livingston out wide and intercepted. Campbell back to Amos. Juma Johnson to Leonardo Thomas now on the ball. Dyer finds Johnson now in the middle of the park. To Bicknell. Back to Johnson. Now here's Murray. Whoa, lovely. And it's found its way to Barrow. Campbell arriving at the back post, but put way too much on that shot.
Yeah, you can't blame him for taking it on, though the form he has been in. Scored his first goal of the season here against Tivoli Gardens a couple of games ago, and then an absolute stunner against Harborview in his last game, a 93rd minute winner. Confidence surely high for the Waterhouse captain, Kimani Campbell, but certainly had time or space to take a touch before getting that shot off, and has let Treasure Beach off the hook temporarily as Bembo finds Colorado Murray in the channel here.
And he's beaten Blair, but the cross not able to find Barrow. Now is Brian, gets past Bicknell, pass to Lawrence, asking for an option, and eventually somehow he fortunately won that one back. Oh, a pass out wide, attempting to find Hardy there, but pass there from Fleming's not on the money. But now here's Lawrence to Damani Miller. Out to Navardo Blair. Cross coming in, looking for Harris, but makes its way all the way over to Fleming's, and it had some power on it, but in the end, pretty central shot, quite comfortable save.
Yeah, Bernard. Remember the last time I saw him starting here at Waterhouse, it was a very shaky performance, which led to him being actually substituted for Roger Williams at halftime. Looking down from our commentary position here, seeing Kavis Paul and Omani Leacock walked past. They would say in the NBA in street clothes. So they're not a part of the match day festivities for Waterhouse today. Leacock especially, I think, will be a massive miss in the middle of the park. Explains why we're seeing a Juma Johnson deployed in that position as Waterhouse look to get a cross in. Titus, the one who gets in the way, but it only falls to Amos.
Campbell with a cross, looking at the back post for Murray, but goes harmlessly past, and that will be a throw-in for Waterhouse. Referee just halting play, I believe, calling over Benbow there, just to give him a stern talking to, as Lawrence gets ready to take this throw-in.
I think there's an issue with his jersey. Seemed as if the font of his number has escaped him. It seems as if he was washed out a bit. And I think that is what referee Alexi Perry is pointing to, saying that it will be difficult for him to identify him and he will need a replacement. So Waterhouse, at least for the time being, will have to play on with 10 men.
Bit of a strange predicament they've found themselves in, Waterhouse. It's not very often you see things like this happen.
And right on cue, Akeem Bernard taking a seat. I think that's going to give Waterhouse and his team a chance to regroup and possibly get that jersey for Cardell Bemba as well. He can also give us a chance to update you on some current score lines. Mount Pleasant have taken an early lead against Shackleton Maroons through Raheem Edwards scoring his 19th of the season. That one taking place at Draxall. Of course, Draxall will be the venue of our next doubleheader on Monday. Stay tuned to hear more about those games, of course. But I can say that one of those games will involve the home team here tonight taking on Mount Pleasant, and that certainly promises to be a massive, massive one. Not only in terms of the quality that we expect, but also, I would say, psychologically going into the playoff period as well. If those two teams were to face off against each other in the semi-final range, in the final, what would a result this late into the season mean for either of them? Much different to the dynamic we're seeing in this game today, where Waterhouse are trying to continue their form, possibly even get into the top two with the 4-man wins that they've been piling up. And Treasure Beach, quite the opposite, trying to get some form going so they can possibly avoid the drop. The dynamics all across the league, quite fascinating.
Most definitely. And as we see Bernard get off his feet now, looks as though maybe perhaps they found a shirt for Benbow, but until he makes his way back onto the pitch, they'll have to do without him. And fans just taking the music in before the restart of the game. And I have to say, for a long time it did seem as though we were about to see an outpouring of some heavy rain, but thankfully we've been spared tonight. It's been raining all week in Kingston, but thankfully some lovely weather has been able to facilitate both games in optimal conditions, and Benbow does make his way back onto the pitch with a slight adjustment to his jersey, let's say. And that goes out of play. That will be a throw-in. Treasure Beach now, Nicholas Lawrence to take it. And Scream Bryan opts for Jaheim Harris, unable to find him, but now it's Bryan. Did well to get out of that tight space, but pass was off. Murray loses position to Livingston, and that will go just past Kareem Bryant, not able to really take that down properly. Now Stephon Johnson gets it out wide to Amos. Plays into the path of Kimani Campbell, but Shandell Anderson arrived there first, put that out of play. That will be a throw into Waterhouse. Once more out of play for a throw into Waterhouse, and they take it quickly. And referee just urging Amos to retake. Johnson to his namesake. Out wide to Dyer. And I have to say, a key element or component of this game that could be very crucial for Waterhouse will be the performance of Denardo Thomas, who's been closely man-marked all game by Damani Miller. Known for his ability on the ball himself, but he's been asked to do a difficult job here, I have to say.
Yeah, I think, as you did mention, it will be quite difficult to keep a player like Denardo Thomas quiet, as now he drives into space trying to link up with Barrow, but that's a good challenge coming in. And I think it is a good idea, a good choice for Treasure Beach to opt to man mark Denardo Thomas. He's that person playing in that Waterhouse front three that has much more license to drop off the last line and join the midfield areas. And I think that's when he can be so dangerous, because he can drop off the last line, combine, or then proceed to drive into space. And that's something you certainly don't want him to do, get a full head of steam going at you, Denardo Thomas. So that threat was recognized. Damani Miller is tasked with doing a very difficult job, but one I'm sure he's relishing so far, at least, because for the most part he has done a decent job of keeping Denardo Thomas off the ball.
You can see if he'll be able to keep it up for 90 minutes, of course. And a bit of a risky pass there. They've lost out to Benbow. Driving at the defense, gone past a couple. Barrow to Thomas, saved, and somehow Benbow has his brushes spared by the linesman, but nevertheless the goal was begging to be scored. Of course it wouldn't have counted, but we just spoke about Thomas being kept quiet. He's had a shot there saved.
Yeah, Moe Morgan doing really well. It was a comfortable height for him, but he was struck with power. And Bembo coming up on the rebound. And luckily for Treasure Beach, he was offside. Luckily for Bembo as well, as he really would have felt as he should have scored that opportunity.
Morris' pass is cut out there, but he does get another opportunity. Sends back Benbow wide, taking on Lawrence. Cuts inside as a shot blocked by Navardo Blair. It's gotten pretty intense now in the last couple of minutes, Leger, I have to say. A bit more back and forth, or at least Waterhouse have been playing a bit more intensity and purpose going forward, putting the pressure on now for Treasure Beach, and Barrow loses out pretty cheaply there. And Titus with a pass to Anderson, who shoved in the back, no foul. Ajuma Johnson, shouts of handball there against Titus. No handball, says the referee. Blair looking for Brian, find him. And Jaheim Harris actually to Brian, and out wide now is Daniel Hardy. Can take on Bicknell, drifts inside. Livingston, Miller. There's Navardo Blair trying to find Harris, but Harris just pointing towards that far left hand side in terms of where he wanted the ball, didn't get it in his preferred position. And now his Barrow on that touch line, unable to keep it in play. Throw in for Treasure Beach.
Yeah, Treasure Beach do have their patient moments when attacking, but I'm sure they do want to get the ball from back to front as quickly as possible. Brian, silky as ever, but unable to connect with Jaheim Harris. Possession relinquished, and that's a good touch from Denardo Thomas and also Colorado Murray. As they up to recycle now to Cardell Bembo. Not playing in an extremely familiar position is Cardell Bembo. Nominally a right wing back in this system for Waterhouse, but it is a very attacking one. So when in possession, he is tasked with holding the width on the right hand side, much more like a right winger would. And that's much more comfortable to him, where he has the ability to drive on the outside, drive inside, create, combine, get shots off, get crosses into the box as well. And he's made a career of doing so to a high level. So some good profiling from Javier Einstein. I think the only downside to that would be possibly having to depend on Cardell Bembo to be a defensive player when Waterhouse don't have the ball. And I think that's why we've seen a vast majority of Treasure Beach attacks being formulated down the left-hand side, Bembo's side.
That goes over the head there of Hardy, and Bembo will go across to take the throw. And I have to say, if they are to exploit the fact that Bembo is not necessarily, as you said, in his preferred position, I think it'd be a pretty good idea to perhaps attack a bit quicker. They are a team that tends to play a bit more direct, get more in transition. I think they're going to have to make use of that ability a bit more throughout the course of this game. Catch Waterhouse out of shape instead of giving them time to set up. Of course, you really don't want to do that against a team like Waterhouse, who, as we mentioned before, one of the better defenses in the league, especially since their new coaching change. And now here's Moe Morgan just assessing his options. And he opts to just boot it long. And it's gone towards Flemings now. Scored in that last game, of course, in that draw against Mount Pleasant. I'll be hoping he can replicate that sort of form in front of goal. They do need the goals, as we mentioned before. They do find themselves in a relegation scrap. And while they do have a game in hand on Harborview, who lost today, their fate is still in their own hands. They still have to win the remaining games to give themselves a chance to stay up. A feat they were unable to accomplish last time they were here, but they do want to prove that they belong at this level and know what it would mean to these fans. Bernard plays that downfield, looking for Murray. Hanged in the air for what seemed like forever, but unable to win the header. But he gets the ball back. Good turn, throws the defense, and it's a good pass, but Morgan will get there ahead of Barrow. Pass a bit too much to the right. Didn't really give Barrow a chance there to get there ahead of the goalkeeper. And now as Anderson heads it. Ooh, dangerously to Morgan. And had Barrow been more alert or had a bit more pace, could have been scary hours there for Treasure Beach. Johnson to Bernard. Bernard back out wide now to Amos. And it's clear downfield. Flemings. Pass into the path of James Harris. That will all the way through to the goalkeeper, Akeem Bernard. Treasure Beach not really making use of the space given to them when they are in possession. Haven't been great thus far in that attacking third. As we see Moe Morgan go down now in goal. Just some attention is going to be given to him. 23 minutes in, been a bit of a slow first half.
And I think that's purposeful from Treasure Beach. I think they understand that coming to a ground like this at the Waterhouse Mini Stadium with the form that Waterhouse are in, pushing for a top 2 place, a draw would be a good result for them. I think they've purposely tried to take the sting out of the game, not tried to play to a quick tempo to allow this game to even become even remotely like a back and forth type of contest. They've opted to play much slower when possible. And I think it's really played into their hands. Waterhouse haven't quite looked at the races so far.
Through and taken there. Johnson looking over to the left-hand side of the pitch, trying to find Dyer. He does, was just about able to keep it in play. Benpo takes it down well, and under some pressure does well to find Dyer. And Ajumo Johnson almost put himself in danger with his touch there. Now is Rashawn Amos. Finds Barrow in acres of space. Oh, lovely attempt at a pass to try to find Denardo Thomas, who's usually the one supplying those type of passes. There's Barrow. Kimani Campbell. Now it's Devon Johnson. Dyer. Drifting in the middle of the park, and he surrendered position pretty cheaply. Miller out wide to Flemings now. And I have to say, as mentioned before, I don't particularly like the idea of Treasure Beach allowing Waterhouse to set up. I understand they're trying to be a bit more patient and take the sting out of the game, as you said before, but I think they'd be best served being a bit quicker in transition. Right now they have an opportunity to drive with Karim Bryan, getting it out wide to Daniel Hardy. Now this is what you'd want to see from Treasure Beach. Hardy driving at defenders, cutting inside, setting up Harris! Well, Bryan actually, but regardless of who it is, Treasure Beach won't mind. Karim Bryan scores and Treasure Beach are up 1-0.
Yeah, top goal, that one from Treasure Beach. You said you wanted to see more speed on the transition, and that's exactly what they provided. And it was he who started it, dropping off the last line into the middle of the park. Karim Bryan, Hardy buying time, attracting 3 defenders. Such his quality. Still had the composure to pick out his man. And Treasure Beach, an excellent team goal. A goal that's certainly needed as well from their point of view. And Waterhouse, we did mention the possible weakness down there right hand side defensively. It's been exploited. Bemba out of possession, Dyer too aggressive, but Karim Bryan so cool in front of goal. It's 1-0 Treasure Beach against Waterhouse.
Well, Ajay, we did mention before that in the previous game Harborview played like a team that was resigned to their fate. Didn't really play with the level of fight or intensity you'd want to see from a team that's in a desperate position, but Treasure Beach have come out swinging thus far in the opening stages of this game. Benbo twisting and turning, but turning into the opposition defenders. And that will go out for a throw-in to Treasure Beach. Lovely strike by Karim Bryan, I have to say. Wonderful effort. And Daniel Hardy, what about the skill on show to, just as you said, buy time. Talked about his creativity beforehand as one of the players that could make the difference in the final third for them in the absence of Raheem Porter. And he's done just that with that beautiful assist. Kimani Campbell with a touch, taking him inside, and he's brought down. Referee looks the other way despite the protest from the fans and the player himself. Wanted a penalty there, but none forthcoming. But now it's Benbo. Ooh, trying to find Barrow, but not the accuracy would have wanted on that pass. But there we have the replay, and ooh.
It was a very aggressive challenge coming in from Shandal Anderson. I can see where the complaint would come from, but referee Alexi Perry keeping his whistle from his lips and not calling that one. First goal in 4 game weeks that Waterhouse would have conceded. There's a challenge once more. Loud appeal from the players and the fans as well. It was actually the excellent work from Bembo.
My word. What about the creativity there from Benbow? And he has a chance to get the ball back, and he does. Can he get a cross in? He does, and Barrow just can't get on the end of it. Good defending by Titus in the end. Bicknell. Now Moore has a chance to get a cross in. That's blocked. Into Benbow, back to Bicknell. Out wide now to Rashawn Amos. Drifted inside and pump faked there. Looked like he was about to set up a shot. Dyer. His decision there to try to get past the defender lamented by the fans. And ooh, Hardy, lovely idea trying to find Harris, but Harris is judged to have fouled Kimani Campbell there. Great idea, but Harris made a mess of that situation. But Treasure Beach, 30 minutes in. Well-deserved lead, I have to say. Haven't created too many chances, but they've defended pretty well. Really denied the space that Waterhouse have been looking for. And aside from that attempt from Denardo Thomas earlier in the game, they haven't really had any clear-cut opportunities really to speak of. And Barrow heads that on for Thomas, and he's found offside.
Yeah, 30 minutes in, and Waterhouse, as you mentioned, haven't quite shown the attacking impetus that I'm not going to say that we've come to expect from them, because they haven't been scoring at a frantic rate, but they still have shown some good attacking play, especially here at home. But this defensive setup and the nuances in it from Treasure Beach has certainly been, in a word of my friend, quite stifling in its approach.
Number 5 Alexander Bicknell will be replaced by number 9 Javin Bryan.
And an early change, as a matter of fact, for Waterhouse in response to what we've seen so far after 30 minutes. Alexander Bicknell, the midfield controller, making his way off for Javin Bryan.
Substitution completed in the 32nd.
And I suppose that means Denardo Thomas will have to drop that much deeper, taking up full responsibility now to perhaps create some chances for the team. And we have Brian, Murray, and Barrow up front. They're going all out.
Yeah, I think Waterhouse want to have at least 3 players occupying that last line of Treasure Beach. 3 players who you can say are nominal strikers as well. Also maybe can have a little bit of a presence in the box when trying to deliver those crosses. And that will be handball against Javin Bryan as well. So something a bit different for Treasure Beach to think about, but for my money, the main issues for Waterhouse so far in this game would be their inability to build up effectively. Treasure Beach doing a good job playing that midfield diamond when pressing high and then dropping into that 4-4-2 mid-block, and it really has stifled any central progression for Waterhouse, forcing them out wide. And once it gets out wide, it's just constant circulation because there's no space in that area. So excellent defensive game plan so far from Treasure Beach. Waterhouse opting to not change things from source.
Anderson takes the throw, and Harris does well to hold off the defenders. The pass Leaves a bit to be desired there. Barrow now in position for Waterhouse. Plays that all the way back to Dyer. To Benbow. Looking for options. Finds Murray, whose touch lets him down and also may have picked up a knock to the face there, but unintentional. There'll be no foul. Livingston. Ooh, good idea. But the execution lacking. Not able to find Daniel Hardy on that occasion. Throw in now to Waterhouse. And a slight push there by Barrow, and I was about to say he got away with it, but referee letting him know that he did see. Eyes all over the pitch, this referee. Of course, given that there's no VAR, players tend to think they can be able to get away with a lot, but he was privy to that. And the free kick coming in here, but pretty easy for Keane Bernard to claim. And it's pretty audible from here, the frustration of the fans who thought the referee made a poor decision there, but of course, from the fans' vantage point, it's always easier to talk. Now here's Harris. Loses position here is Juma Johnson. Playing it into Murray. Oh, and the pass is behind Javane Bryan. And Kareem Bryan can get this ahead of Stevan Johnson, but does well there, the defender, to win possession back for Waterhouse. Dyer clears downfield now, looking for the head of Barrow, unable to find him. Livingston heads that to Flemings. Back to Livingston. Kareem Bryan. Flick on for Livingston. Gets that out wide to Hardy now. Can he get past Benbow? Ooh, not the greatest pass there. Looking for the overlapping run there of his teammate. And Benbow loses possession after momentarily winning it. Livingston. Damani Miller. Out wide to Shandal Anderson. And a pass out wide now to, ooh, lovely touch. Neymar S there by Daniel Hardy, showing off. Of course, already provided an assist so far in this game. A lovely ball out wide, but handball there by Flemings.
Yeah, I was keenly intrigued with that passage of play there from Treasure Beach, both in and out of possession. There's often been a lot of talk about the quality of the Jamaica League, whether or not we have enough to facilitate a 14-team league. But when you can see coaching and quality of players like this from a team that's currently in the relegation places, I think that says a lot about the quality all across Jamaican football. Quality that Waterhouse are having problems with currently trying to infiltrate.
Denardo Thomas, as you mentioned before, as expected, dropping deep, and he's pulling the strings here. Pass now into the path of Murray, but flag goes up. Livingston. No runners, so he decides to just settle back. Kareem Bryan's pass goes astray. Shamari Dyer under pressure there, and they somehow escape that double team. Waterhouse finally beginning to play out of pressure now, and a good pass into Barrow, who holds up play well, gets it out wide to Benbow. See if he can take on Nicholas Lawrence. Opts for the pass back to Dyer. Benbow trying to find the overlapping run of Dyer, but loses out there. Nicholas Lawrence doing well there and gets the decision. It will be a free kick.
Yeah, good work in the end. Score update from Draxall Sports Complex. Chapelton Maroons have equalized against Mount Pleasant. Robina Gordon scoring for the Maroons. So 1-1 in that game after 35 minutes. Arnett Gardens have also taken an early lead against Cavalier. Kevon Saka Wilson scoring his second of the season to give the lead to the Junglists. A game that they need to win if they're going to infiltrate the top 6 as well. We'll keep you abreast of all those score lines throughout this game as well. Poor pass from Amos, and now here comes Jaheim Harris against Stevan Johnson.
Held up play well, and advantage given, I believe. But the foul, the play is called back for the foul after, I believe, Brian let it go.
Yeah, I'm surprised he didn't try Kareem Bryan at continuing the play. Opted to give his team a chance to settle a bit. It's taken short. Tried for a shot from distance. Akeem Bernard keeping this one in play.
There's about 6 or 5 minutes left in this first half between Waterhouse and Treasure Beach, and it's been an interesting encounter, especially tactically. But as of right now, Treasure Beach find themselves in a pretty good position, 1-0 ahead of Waterhouse, and Denardo Thomas wins a free kick here, and a card as well to boot. Navardo Blair.
Yeah, former Waterhouse man possibly getting one in on a former teammate. Extremely late in the challenge. Navardo Blair.
They'll be wanting to get all the players they can into the box right now. They need a goal here. Thomas eyeing up this free kick now, and they're just confirmation there of the yellow card to Blair. Free kick taken, and that's headed away. Stevan Johnson, and pass out to Amos, who passes into Campbell, heads it on for Barrow, and Shandell Anderson. Good defensive work. Captain had to get there in time. Put that out of play for a corner kick to Waterhouse. Waterhouse have had the bulk of possession, but you don't always necessarily control the game even though you have the bulk of possession. They've struggled really to create anything much. They're gonna have to improve in the final third. They have brought on Javane Bryan for Alexander Bittnell pretty early in this first half, of course with the intention of trying to score here. Of course, chasing that top 2 position, that automatic spot into the semi-finals. It seems Moy Morgan is once again down.
After 10 minutes of play, leads Cavalier 1-0.
Had a couple of moments going to the ground so far in this game. They'll be hoping that it's nothing more than a bit of, let's say, tactical moments in terms of choosing to go to ground. But now is this corner to be taken by Denardo Thomas. He's taking it short. Juma Johnson finally settles at the second time of asking. Cross coming in. Lofted towards the back post, and Javane Bryan puts it back in. Rashawn Amos! What a clearance by the captain Anderson.
Yeah, excellent from Shandell Anderson there. Moy Morgan all the way at the other side of his goal. I think his positioning initially was incorrect. Led to him not being able to get across, or it seemed as if he wouldn't be able to get across. That's a captain's interception from Shandell Anderson. But they have another corner kick to defend here. In swinger from Denardo Thomas.
Ooh, and it's believe he got a touch on that one, Campbell, but another cross coming in from Amos. Headed on! Ooh, over the bar from Colorado. Murray seeking his 12th of the season. Over the bar, however.
Yeah, first time I would say Waterhouse have sustained some real pressure against his Treasure Beach team. Excellent cross coming in from Amos. 2 Waterhouse players unmarked in the area. I think Treasure Beach will want a little bit of a talking about that. But they've survived. And there's a minute and a half plus stoppages left to go in this first half.
Player under pressure. And poor touch there. Denard Thomas has the ball now to Ajuma Johnson. He has Campbell out wide now. But Shandell Anderson, perfect positioning to intercept. And in the end, wisely, lets that go out for a goal kick there. Veteran move by the skipper.
I was a bit surprised, not doubting, of course, the quality of Ajuma Johnson, but I was a bit surprised that Javier Einstein would have opted to sub off a natural holding midfielder in Alexander Bicknell to then play a midfield pivot of Ajuma Johnson and Denarda Thomas. It does seem a bit light in a lot of aspects.
Livingston lost the ball there, and there's Ajuma Johnson doing well to retain possession. There's Kimani Campbell losing it, but they called back for a foul there. Kimani Campbell not really taking to that decision there by Kareem Bryant to keep him from the ball there. Of course, 1-0 down. They will want to get a goal here before the end of the half. Now is Benbow in space. Cross coming in. Good defensive work by Blair. And there's 6 minutes of added time, reflective of the stoppages throughout this half. Livingston. Oh, tidy feet there. And he's almost lost the ball and just doing a bit too much there on that occasion. Did well initially to get past a couple of challenges, but perhaps was feeling his own hype.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure you saw options forward to pass it off. Yeah, I knew you would be a bit more eager this time to get it off.
Ooh, and Jaheim Harris almost won the ball back from Amos there. He's coming forward now. And the pass goes through all the way to Barrow. Now it's Javane Bryan. He has runners. Cuts inside instead. And finds Benbow out wide. Can opt to beat his man, trying to get past Nicholas Lawrence. Turns back, twisting and turning. He's in trouble here, but he does win a free kick. And I have to say, perhaps they'd have been better off taking the overlapping run there. But they did eventually get it out to Benbow. And he's won a free kick. Denarda Thomas over this dead ball situation. Free kick coming in, headed away by Brian. Dyer. Amos unable to trap it first time. Dyer. Out wide to Denardo Thomas once more. Driving infield. To Ajuma Johnson, back to Thomas. Now out wide to Kimani Campbell. Sitting up. Oh, lovely. To cut inside, played into the path of Barrow, and Brian to Benbow. Oh, didn't know too much about it, did he?
Yeah, not at all. Really good, intricate, tight space play by Waterhouse. In the end, it was always going to be difficult for Benbow in that area to get anything accurate off. Quick update from the Draxall Sports Complex again. It's now 2-2 in that game. Daniel Green had given Mount Pleasant another lead before Levon Williams in the 44th minute equalized once more. Two all currently in first half stoppage time.
Now Dyer according to the fans who are behind us. The throw was taken a bit too slowly for their liking, especially given the situation. They are 1-0 down, and there's limited stoppage. Of course, not relative to what you usually see, but a cross coming in here. Easily claimed by Maury Morgan. Plays that out wide to Flemings, and Kareem Bryan trying to get a bit too fancy there, loses the ball to Amos. And he finds Barrow. Out wide to Bryan. Cross coming in and a bit too much on it. Too much. Unable to find Colorado Murray. And Nicholas Lawrence driving at them now. Loses possession and he's out of position. But actually it seems to have been a handball.
Yeah, pretty lucky there, I think, Nicholas Anderson, to get out of that situation. But nonetheless, here comes Treasure Beach now down the left-hand side through Hardy. Back to Anderson. And I think they'll take their time about things as they try to get into the halftime break with its lead intact.
You know, Bryan, he likes to run at them, but he's lost the ball here pretty needlessly at that. And now Denardo Thomas has a chance to drive at the defense. He has players to his right. He opts not to use them. He's still going. Back heel to Bryan. Oh! Lost balance at the most inopportune of times. The shot or the cross or whatever he tried to do there just didn't come off as cleanly as he would have wanted it. And Treasure Beach doing a foul here, but disappointing.
Yeah, extremely. Denardo Thomas, I think he might have delayed the initial pass a little bit too long, but it finally came to Javane Bryan, and that first touch really letting him down and bailing out Treasure Beach. In the ensuing counter-attack for Treasure Beach, Rashawn Amos cut down Jaheim Harris and earned himself a yellow card for his troubles.
As we see the stoppage here for Treasure Beach and Flemings. Waterhouse don't have a shortage of attacking talent in this lineup as of now on the pitch, but should they need any more, they do have it on the bench, of course. Jamon Lyle, of course, the new signing, fresh off his exploits at the under 17 level as well as in the Manning Cup this year. Of course, he's already scored in limited time. They could use him, but they'll have to wait to introduce him, if they will, in the second half, as the referee brings this half to a close. And at the break, Waterhouse, the hosts, find themselves down 1-0 to Treasure Beach.
And let's do it until it works, workers. People who are powerful because they power through day after day, challenge after challenge. You see, true power is not something you can buy or collect. It's something that starts on the inside, and you always know it when you see it. Sunshine Snacks Peanuts, proud supporters of the powerful.
Ray and Never, feel we culture. Yo!
New beginning, we winning, so share our spirit where you're living, yeah.
Share it!
I make we all a one bar, you don't know we come from far.
From far, anytime we rep, feel we country. Rear rum, it have to come with we.
No matter with the bad vibes.
Poor rear rum, a celebration time.
I feel we culture. Make we show ya Jamaican culture.
Ray and Never, overproof from we just a do it for we culture.
A CB chicken, a better way. Introducing air chill chicken. It have more flavor, you don't know what you're missing. It tastes better, full of flavor in the kitchen. Better value, better taste, better chicken. CB chicken, tastes way better. Air chilled chicken, taste way better. Better value, better taste, better chicken. No antibiotic and hormone free. Have you tasted the new air chilled chicken? Or my chicken nut? CB chicken, it tastes way better.
I save from VM Building Society. Every deposit got me here. Every step forward put me in the driver's seat.
For everything you're looking forward to, open an iSave account today. Visit gotomyvm.com to get started.
Every $25,000 you save with iSave earns an entry to win cash or a new home of your own. The more you save, the more entries you get, and every entry has a chance to win a brand new home of your own. VM iSave is the key to winning.
Here's to the early risers, and we are here all-nighters, the go the extra milers, and let's do it until it works, workers. People who are powerful, because they powered through, day after day, challenge after challenge. You see, true power is not something you can buy or collect. It's something that starts on the inside, and you always know it when you see it. Sunshine Snacks Peanuts, proud supporters of the powerful.
Ray and Never, feel we culture, yo!
New beginning, we winning, so share our spirit where you living, yeah.
Share it!
I make we all a one bar, you don't know we come from far.
From far, anytime we rep, feel we country. Rear rum, it have to come with we.
No matter with the bad vibes.
Poor rear rum, a celebration time.
I feel we culture. Make we show ya Jamaican culture.
Ray and Never, overproof from we just a do it to we culture.
A CB chicken, a better way. Introducing air chill chicken. It have more flavor, you don't know what you're missing. It tastes better, full of flavor in the kitchen. Better value, better taste, better chicken. CB chicken, tastes way better. Air chilled chicken, taste way better. Better value, better taste, better chicken. No antibiotic and hormone free. Have you tasted the new air chilled chicken? Or my chicken nut? CB chicken, it tastes way better.
I save from VM Building Society. Every deposit got me here. Every step forward put me in the driver's seat.
For everything you're looking forward to, open an iSave account today. Visit gotomyvm.com to get started.
Every $25,000 you save with iSave earns an entry to win cash or a new home of your own. The more you save, the more entries you get, and every entry has a chance to win a brand new home of your own. VM iSave is the key to winning.
Here's to the early risers, and we are here all-nighters, the go the extra milers, and let's do it until it works, workers. People who are powerful, because they powered through, day after day, challenge after challenge. You see, true power is not something you can buy or collect. It's something that starts on the inside, and you always know it when you see it. Sunshine Snacks Peanuts, proud supporters of the powerful.
Ray and Never, feel we culture, yo!
New beginning, we winning, so share our spirit where you living, yeah.
Share it!
I make we all a one bar, you don't know we come from far.
From far, anytime we rep, feel we country. Rear rum, it have to come with we.
No matter with the bad vibes.
Poor rear rum, a celebration time.
I feel we culture. Make we show ya Jamaican culture.
Ray and Never, overproof from we just a do it to we culture.
A CB chicken, a better way. Introducing air chill chicken. It have more flavor, you don't know what you're missing. It tastes better, full of flavor in the kitchen. Better value, better taste, better chicken. CB chicken, tastes way better. Air chilled chicken, taste way better. Better value, better taste, better chicken. No antibiotic and hormone free. Have you tasted the new air chilled chicken? Or my chicken nut? CB chicken, it tastes way better.
I save from VM Building Society. Every deposit got me here. Every step forward put me in the driver's seat.
For everything you're looking forward to, open an iSave account today. Visit gotomyvm.com to get started.
Every $25,000 you save with iSave earns an entry to win cash or a new home of your own. The more you save, the more entries you get, and every entry has a chance to win a brand new home of your own. VM iSave is the key to winning.
Here's to the early risers, and we are here all-nighters, the go the extra milers, and let's do it until it works, workers. People who are powerful because they power through. Day after day, challenge after challenge. You see, true power. It's not something you can buy or collect. It's something that starts on the inside, and you always know it when you see it. Sunshine Snacks Peanuts, proud supporters of the powerful.
Ray and Never, feel we culture, yo!
New beginning, we winning, so share our spirit where you living, yeah.
Share it!
I make we all a one bar, you don't know we come from far.
From far, anytime we rep, feel we country. Rear rum, it have to come with me.
No matter with the bad vibes.
Poor rear rum, a celebration time.
I feel we culture. Make we show ya Jamaican culture.
Ray and Never, overproof from we just a do it to we culture.
A CB chicken, a better way. Introducing air chill chicken. It have more flavor, you don't know what you're missing. It tastes better, full of flavor in the kitchen. Better value, better taste, better chicken. CB chicken, tastes way better. Air chilled chicken, taste way better. Better value, better taste, better chicken. No antibiotic and hormone free. Have you tasted the new air chilled chicken? Or my chicken nut? CB chicken, it tastes way better.
I save from VM Building Society. Every deposit got me here. Every step forward put me in the driver's seat.
For everything you're looking forward to, open an iSave account today. Visit gotomyvm.com to get started.
Every $25,000 you save with iSave earns an entry to win cash or a new home of your own. The more you save, the more entries you get, and every entry has a chance to win a brand new home of your own. VM iSave is the key to winning.
Here's to the early risers, and we are here all-nighters, the go the extra milers, and let's do it until it works, workers. People who are powerful because they power through. Day after day, challenge after challenge. You see, true power. It's not something you can buy or collect. It's something that starts on the inside, and you always know it when you see it. Sunshine Snacks Peanuts, proud supporters of the powerful.
Ray and Never, feel we culture, yo!
New beginning, we winning, so share our spirit where you living, yeah.
Share it!
I make we all a one bar, you don't know we come from far.
From far, anytime we rep, feel we country. Rear rum, it have to come with me.
No matter with the bad vibes.
Poor rear rum, a celebration time.
I feel we culture. Make we show ya Jamaican culture.
Ray and Never, overproof from we just a do it to we culture.
Welcome back to the Waterhouse Mini Stadium, ladies and gentlemen. Treasure Beach find themselves 1-0 up on the host tonight, Waterhouse, in what could prove to be an important result for either team towards the closing stretch of this Jamaican Premier League season. And what a year it has been. Plenty of heroes, young stars emerging, and quite the drama and storylines, and chief among them being Treasure Beach in their bid to stay up and show that they belong at the top level of the Jamaican pyramid. But of course, they still have 45 minutes to ensure that they get this result. But oh, how they deserve it. Been good money for their win, for their lead rather. Play kicks off here. Damani Miller quickly sending Javane Bryan the other way, but it's passed towards Jaheim Harris. Way too much on it. Well, Leger, what did you make of the first half?
Yeah, it was extremely intriguing tactically, that's for sure. Treasure Beach, very good defensively, forced Waterhouse actually into an early change. Only 30 minutes into the game, Alexander Bicknell making way for Javane Bryan. Treasure Beach, they're doing a lot of things right, especially how they're pressing, how they're setting up in their mid-block. They've been a bit lucky at times, but they have defended their box well. And I think so far, as you said, they are deserving of this 1-0 lead.
That was a bit close there to Javane Bryan, but Treasure Beach escaped. Damani Miller once more gets that out in time, but he's taken down there. And we mentioned before how good he is in position, but he was asked to do a pretty difficult job early in the early stages of the first half, which was to man mark Denardo Thomas, and I thought he did a really good job of that.
And it might be a little bit more difficult for him now, because he will be tasked with possibly man marking Javane Bryan as he drops off the line. Very attacking front three for Waterhouse in this game now. Naran Barrow, Colorado Murray, and Javane Bryan. Cardell Bembo off the right. The right wing back, Kimani Campbell, a much more natural defender on the left, a left wing back. So really attacking lineup, not to mention the two central midfielders, Juma Johnson, DeAndre Thomas. Doesn't get much more attacking than that from a Waterhouse perspective, but it's all about if they can find a way to breach this Treasure Beach team tactically. Let's see what was cooked up in their halftime break.
Blair, not the greatest of clearances there. Denardo Thomas wins the aerial duel, but ball finds its way to Livingston. James Harris turns, but into trouble. Lost the ball. There's Javane Bryan using his strength there to retain position. Now is Kimani Campbell trying to find Nairn Barrow down that channel there on the left-hand side. And he's faced with the task of beating Titus, and Livingston there just laughing in the face of Kimani Campbell, just provoking him there to anger. It's getting quite dicey, I have to say. And I don't feel as though that's an isolated incident. I strongly suspect that those two have perhaps had some choice words to say to each other across the duration of this game as to why perhaps just let out a bit of frustration in that moment. But nevertheless, Waterhouse have a free kick now with Denardo Thomas. Taken towards the back post, looking for the head there of Campbell, and a shot comes in there from Benbow. Not a bad effort at all.
Yeah, he was leaning back as he struck it, but still found the accurate bend on it and dip, but just not dipping enough to trouble Moe Morgan and the Treasure Beach goal. Free kick going the way of Waterhouse there. Stevan Johnson, I believe, in the wars.
Dyer to Thomas. His touch takes him away from the Manny Miller there. Well done by the number 10. Still being shadowed by Miller, even in this second half. A good header by Barrow. Lovely target man play. Murray finds Thomas once more. Murray. Thomas finds Barrow. Loses position and wins it back. Now to Murray. To Barrow. Trying to get some space. Gets a shot off, and what a save. Acrobatic dive there from Moe Morgan to push that one over.
Yeah, the shot was central in the end, but it was struck with some ferocity. Really good work from Nairn Barrow to evade the defenders and get space to take the shot on. And Treasure Beach have their goalkeeper, custodian Moe Morgan, to thank for keeping this one in their favor.
Corner taken now, and Morgan, who couldn't get to it, but he does claim that cross coming in from that right-hand side by Bryan. He plays that downfield, looking for the run of Flemings. I think that will go all the way through, however, to Hakeem Bernard. And easily claimed there by the man between the sticks for Waterhouse. Seems both central midfielders for Treasure Beach just tasked with trying to shadow carefully their midfield maestro there, Thomas. Headed away by Titus. Ajuma Johnson bravely puts his head in the fray there. Oh, and had that pass gone through all the way to Barrow, would have been a dangerous situation there. Savon Johnson to Denardo Thomas. Ooh, under pressure here once more from Livingston, but does well. Johnson to Dyer. Plays into the path now of Benbow, who's shoved to the ground. That will be a free kick to Waterhouse.
Yeah, Treasure Beach still keeping up the tenacity that they showed in the first half. Livingston, Bryan, Harris. Livingston unable to connect with Harris on that occasion.
played out wide now to Amos. Jonathan Thomas. Nice little interplay here with Amos. And his attempt there at picking out Barrow, thwarted by the defense there of Trisha Beach, but they've given the ball back. Now here's Brian. Bit of a high boot there. Oh, poor touch by Ajuma Johnson. Bit of a chaotic frenzy here in the middle of the park. Livingston wisely cuts back. Miller back to Livingston. Taking his time on the ball. Ooh, trying to put it between the legs of Campbell. And a free kick won by Waterhouse. Amos to Johnson. Amos. There's Ajuma Johnson. Benbow. Ooh, lovely play there by Murray. Cross by Benbow into Barrow. Turn from Murray. Gets it back out wide to Benbow. Can set up a cross here. It does come in. Headed away, I believe, by Livingston. And that will be a corner kick to Waterhouse.
Yeah, Treasure Beach still standing up strong defensively. I'm sure it must play into their minds even just a little bit that they would have given up a 2-goal lead in their last game against Mount Pleasant. I'm sure they came into this game with the intention to keep a clean sheet.
Thomas with the cross. Ooh, headed on. And that wasn't far away. The header there by Stevan Johnson.
Yeah, rose highest, practically unmarked as well in the penalty area. Got there above Navardo Blair, who left him free. And Johnson really should have at least hit the target on that occasion.
Jonathan Thomas finds Barrow. And the pass into the path now of Javane Bryan. Skipping inside, sets up Barrow. Oh, shot blocked by Titus. Valiant defending at the back there from Treasure Beach. I have to say, Titus putting his body on the line. And a back heel there from Bembo, unable to find Murray. And Blair. Ooh, pass cut out there. Once more Waterhouse on the attack. Now with Dyer. Benpo has a cross once more. It's not completely cleared. Barrow gets it to Murray. Effort blocked once more by Treasure Beach. And now it's Damani Miller to surge forward and he loses possession. Murray cuts inside now. Looks for Barrow, finds him, turns and has a shot, but that's narrowly gone wide.
Yeah, much more aggressive and intention in the play for Waterhouse. Moving the ball much quicker. Barrow finding much more space as well in those areas, just dropping off just a tad bit in front of the centre backs, not quite occupying Titus as he would have in that first half, trying to drop off, find space to swivel and shoot if the ball were to come to him. We've already seen a couple of examples of that in the second half. And speaking of examples, here's Moy Morgan for the third time in this game, taking a seat and requiring some attention.
He's had some issues right throughout this game, and of course they will need him if they are hoping to retain this win, this result. He's been really, really good thus far. Of course, hasn't had too many clear-cut opportunities to really save, but when he has been called upon, he's done well. And as you can see there on that replay there, Waterhouse trying to put some pressure on that goal, and as of yet unable to get level with Treasure Beach at the moment. It's a team that has, as we mentioned before, struggled really to find a glut of goals at times this season. They tend to come in spurts, really. Not many goal-scoring threats on the pitch currently in terms of consistently scoring so far this season outside of Colorado Murray, but he's playing out wide on that right, and looking to play a more creative role so far in this game. Hasn't really taken on many chances himself. But they'll be looking to him as well to provide something in front of goal. And here he is, loses the ball. Wanted a fall, didn't get it. Barrow playing it out wide for Kemani Campbell. Ooh, into Barrow. And just couldn't find the composure there in the box that he needed, Barrow. Norris Amos drives forward, but his touch let him down there, and he's seemingly pushed Navardo Blair to the ground, and yellow card brandished to the defender there.
Yellow card is usually what is number 4, Joshua Amos, in the 58th minute of play.
Must have it confused. I could have sworn that Amos would have or did receive a yellow card in the first half towards the end of it. Seemingly not the case. Nonetheless, it's going to be a free kick, which is taken. Waterhouse trying to play out of pressure here through Amos, who does well against Jaheim Harris and drives away now and picks a really good pass to Barrow, who fails to control it. Fleming's offside.
And if there was a previous yellow card, of course, that would prove to be a pretty precarious position. Waterhouse would be in a goal down and a man down. But as of now, Waterhouse still have Amos on the pitch. And of course, as I mentioned before, they do have Jamon Lyle on the bench. But they also do have Mario Sims, who's been in fine goal-scoring form from midfield so far this season. And they have enough on the bench if they want to really get back into this game. Different approach could be taken. Miller spins around, finds Blair. Needless amount of power on that, but did well to take it down there, Lawrence. Ooh, he's brought down. That should be a foul, but play does go the other way. It will be a throw to Treasure Beach. Chris Lawrence to take. Had Livingston there. Eventually he uses him. Benbow twisting and turning. And Murray. What's the throw in there? Dio. It's headed away. Denardo Thomas trying to get that out wide to Kemani Campbell. Wonderful pass. And a cross coming in now. Punched away from Morgan. And Damani Miller seems the ball headed him rather than him heading the ball. But the ball played now to Kareem Bryan, who is unable to keep it in play.
There was always going to be a tough ask. The ball retention for this Treasure Beach team has really dove off a cliff as they look to hold on to this lead. They've really allowed Waterhouse to gain superiority in this game, playing a dangerous game, as a matter of fact. Another example there.
Norris Amos driving forward. Norris Barrow cross, and I believe he thought he had someone in the box, but goes all the way over beyond the teammate, and it's played out back to Dyer now. Amos. Lovely pass now into the path of Keman Campbell. Can Campbell make something happen here from across? Oh, Javane Bryan. No.
Yeah, that cross had the entirety of the Waterhouse Mini Stadium on their feet. It was a tantalizing one. Javane Perry Brian got a bit confused there because of the outcry of Perry as Javane Bryan missed that one. A chance once more. Really good cross coming in from Kimani Campbell, who's been a constant outlet. We just couldn't quite get the...
Ooh, they've won the ball high up the pitch here, Treasure Beach. Miller couldn't get the pass right into the path of Harris, but now Waterhouse can come forward on the counter. Now here's Denardo Thomas. Once more has Campbell, who's pretty much had the free reign of that left-hand side. Touch lets him down, however, on that occasion. Now it's John Livingston. Ooh, looking long now for Jaheim Harris. Can he get there ahead of the defenders? Yes, he can. And he puts it over the goalkeeper. Treasure Beach, 2-0 to the good. They've stunned the host. Jaheim Harris puts Treasure Beach 2-0 up.
Goals don't get any better than that. Treasure Beach struggling for the entirety of the second half so far to maintain any sort of possession. And LaJean Livingston does excellently, feinting that he's going to retain the ball and then launching an absolutely fantastic pass over the top of this Waterhouse defense. Bernard slow on his heels, unable to react in time. And Jaheim Harris, the most fleet-footed in that foot race, provides an absolutely fantastic dink, an inch perfect one into the back of the net to put Treasure Beach 2-0 up and possibly take them out of the relegation zone. What a goal, and what will that mean for the Jamaica Premier League table?
Plenty of ramifications on both sides, on opposite ends of the table. As you mentioned before, if this result stands, it would take them, I believe, a point ahead of Harbourview, condemning them to 13th position, and Treasure Beach would still, even then, have a game in hand and would give them a chance to further take them away from the danger zone.
And you can hear practically a pin drop inside the Waterhouse mini stadium. And that's a good header by Bembo. He rose high. Another tantalizing cross, this time coming off the right boot of Kimani Campbell. But Bembo unable to direct that one on target. Treasure Beach once more looking for a pass over the top, but to no one in particular that time from Damani Miller.
Amos now on the ball. You'd think that given the time left in the game, they'd try to get a substitution in at this moment in time, but it doesn't seem as though one's going to be made for now. Waterhouse content to keep things going as is. And Akeem Bernard putting his team under pressure there needlessly. Amos to Thomas. Dyer. And Benbow looking for options, finds Thomas. Thomas trying to escape danger in the middle of the park, but he's ran into danger here, and I believe that tackle would have earned him a foul, but the referee says none. It was a pretty dangerous one coming in on Jaheim Harris. He's left a bit on him and he's still down, Harris. And somehow I believe he's lucky to not be awarded a foul and a yellow card there.
Yeah. It was a late challenge, studs up as well from Denardo Thomas.
Substitution for Waterhouse.
Waterhouse preparing a couple of changes. Ajuma Johnson
50.
Making his way on.
Ajuma Johnson was replaced by number 8, Mario Sims.
Mario Sims. And I believe that looks like Jamon Lyle making their way on.
Number 7. Jamon Lyle. enters the field of play.
Another change as well. Colorado Murray has also made his way off.
Colorado Murray will be replaced by number 39, Jesus Vidino.
So a change in midfield and 2 changes across the front line as well.
I did mention before this that I'd like to see something different from Waterhouse in terms of possibly personnel as well as the approach, and we're getting it now. It seems that Javane Bryan will be the lone forward up front, and we'll have Lyle and Sims in support, and I'd assume Thomas would, sure, should he be able to stay on the pitch, would just venture a bit forward, further forward than he has across the duration of this second half. But he's hobbling at the moment. Not a sight you want to see if you're a Waterhouse fan.
I think that might lead to another change as well for Waterhouse if Denardo Thomas is unable to continue.
And I believe that's what they're discussing now with Coach Einstein. Could spell the end of his night. And we do see, I believe, Dwayne Berger going over to warm up. I do believe that does bring an end to the night of the number 10 there. But a lovely pass now by Lyle into the path of Campbell. Mario Sims trying to make an introduction to this game in the final third. Looking for options and finds Amos. Can he get a cross in? Instead ups the pass to Mario. Godinho trying to find Sims, but the ball makes its way out to Kimani Campbell. Oh, lovely take by Sims. Couple of step overs. Pass. Now into the path of Campbell. Cross. And good defensive work there coming in from Navardo Blair. That's cleared out of play by Treasure Beach. Wonderful defending on that cross there.
And I've suspected from the first half that Blair might have a little bit more intensity in this one, seeing that he is a former Waterhouse player. Dwayne Berger making his way on for Denardo Thomas. Javane Bryan turning out of pressure.
Oh, into the path of Campbell. He has chance here. Oh, the pass was on the money, but just couldn't get tapped home. And they do earn themselves a corner kick here, which it seems as though Berger will go across the take. Dyer into the box. Oh, makes it way all the way through to Campbell. He keeps it in play, but the pass goes off of Stevan Johnson and into the grateful arms of Moy Morgan.
Yeah, he was taking another seat to try and draw this one out. Waterhouse now attacking with a bank of 6 almost. Kimani Campbell wide on the left, Berger wide on the right. A combination of Lyle, Bembo, and Jamon Lyle in behind Javane Bryan. Godinho sitting at the base of midfield. So quite a bit for Treasure Beach to adjust to. They do have a 2-goal lead in the bank. A lead that I'm sure they would love to hold and ensure that they escape this game.
For Treasure Beach, number 7, Kareem Bryan will be replaced by
Escaping the bottom 2.
Lawrence.
Tommy Lawrence making his way on for Kareem Bryan. And goal difference is also quite intriguing now as well. This 2-0 result, if it were to hold, scoreline if it were to hold, would mean that Treasure Beach have a negative 18 goal difference. Harborview, following their 4-0 loss, now have a negative 21. So even if Treasure Beach were to not win a game after this one, if this result were to hold and Harborview were to draw a game, it still would mean that Treasure Beach would have the advantage due to their superior goal difference. So a lot of factors at play here. This result for Waterhouse would mean that they would stay in 4th position, 3 points behind Portmore and 6 behind Mount Pleasant, ahead of their game on Monday.
Now, it's Davis. Following his introduction, can he do something here? Cross. Ooh, tantalizing one, and chested down by Blair. Once more into the arms of Morgan, who, despite going down on a number of occasions, he's been quite good in that goal.
Yeah, really trusted his goalkeeper there, Navardo Blair, playing with a lot of expression at centre back for this Treasure Beach team.
Amos. Ooh, lovely pass into the path of Davis. Cross coming in here. Ooh, just evades Jamon Lyle, who's looking to perhaps get them back into this game. And now Jaheim Harris, he's taking it past, and there's a shot. Well, speculative effort in the end, but nonetheless, he went for it.
Yeah, didn't have the option to pass that time to Johnny Fleming. Here's a chance once more for Waterhouse. Bembo now operating wide left. Godino giving up possession. Now Fleming. And Treasure Beach, now they look to retain some possession. But they've given it up here. And here come Waterhouse through Javane Bryan.
Bryan still has the ball, and he wins a corner kick here off of Navardo Blair. Cross came in, but good defending at the end by Treasure Beach. Waterhouse finally playing with that sense of urgency that they've really been sorely lacking in the final third for much of this game, but with about 15 minutes to go in this one, they'll of course want to start that comeback as soon as possible. Corner comes in now from Sims, headed on towards Campbell, and here's a shot blocked, and you can see what it means to Navardo Blair, the passion on his face as he fist bumps in the air celebrating that corner.
Yeah, really put his body on the line, and look where he started. Look at the intent and the determination as he blocked that shot. Massive energy from Navardo Blair. Still
Mario
has to
Sims
defend here.
Towards Kimani. Campbell, can he keep it in play? Yes, he can. To Burger. Cross. Sits up for Bryan, but headed away by Livingston. Now here's Blair. Oh, lovely, lovely pass out wide to Flemings. Can he do with it? Can he beat Rashawn Amos, who's one of the best 1v1 defenders in the league? Opts not to go at him. Passes back to Livingston. And brought down there is Blair, but loses position. Campbell. Ooh, lovely pass out wide. And now Waterhouse have a chance. Benbow has a shot. And Morgan once more makes a save for Treasure Beach.
Yeah, did well to get behind that one. It was Navardo Blair who became a bit overzealous, staying forward. Even still yet to return to his post.
And that perhaps could just be a sign of him being low on energy at the moment. He has had to do a lot of running, to be fair.
And now a couple of Waterhouse players down on their haunches. Amos, Kimani Campbell, the captain as well, and it must be reminded as well that Waterhouse don't have any more changes to make.
It seems following that earlier collision that Jaheim Harris is still on the ground as well.
He will be replaced in short order.
Apparently he's feeling some pain in his back. And of course, you never want to see one of the most problematic areas on the body being your place of injury. And as a result, they'll just wrap him in cotton wool. But of course, he'll leave the pitch having made his mark on the game with that goal, the second of the game for Treasure Beach, following Kareem Bryan's first half strike. And thanks to Harris's efforts, Treasure Beach in a commanding lead now with just 12 minutes to go, 2-0 up on the host Waterhouse. James Harris with his third of the campaign, and he'll be substituted by, I believe, Shanoy Smith. Godinho to Dyer. Dwayne Berger. Dyer. Stevan Johnson. Over to Amos now on that left hand side. Benbow. Plays it out wide, looking for Dwayne Berger. He does find him, but he's quickly forced backwards by the defense, and now they've won some space. Berger, who drove at the defenders and forced him to commit a foul there. Will be a free kick on that right hand side. And seems it will be taken by Mario Sims. It did look as though Jamon Lyle wanted it, but won't have the opportunity. And we know Jamon Lyle actually has some set piece ability. Scored a number of free kicks in his time. Sims to take this free kick. Makes way to Dyer. Ooh, shot taken there by Berger. And given how much it bubbled, I assumed it would have taken a deflection, but actually that was just off target.
Yeah, good pressure applied by Shanoy Smith to that challenge.
Played downfield now, looking for Smith, headed away by Dyer. Godinho plays it up forward, looking for Bryan, headed away by Blair. Tommy Lawrence wins a foul there in the middle of the park for Treasure Beach. Ball won by Dyer once more. Now into Bryan, who not the greatest touch there, but it's almost gotten him beyond Blair, who does well. Nice little feint there to send him the other way. Blair flicks it up before playing it downfield. Dyer does the same. Lawrence, lovely pass out wide, and it gets the oohs and the ahs from the crowd. There's Johnny Flemings, has a chance to run at his defender. Drifts inside. Ooh, trying to play it through to Livingston. Does make its way to Livingston, but he couldn't keep it in play.
Yeah. Really good work once again on the transition by Treasure Beach. That time Tommy Lawrence with an absolutely superb pass. Johnny Flemings this time deciding to take on Amos, and it was a pretty interesting pass coming through. But Livingston, his tired legs, couldn't keep that one in play.
Ooh, Javane Bryan now has a chance to break into the defense of Treasure Beach, but the touch was a bit too heavy, and that will go all the way through to the goalkeeper. There's the Manny Miller.
Quick update on the score lines across the league as well. Arnett Gardens now 2 goals ahead of Cavalier in the 52nd minute. Kevon Wilson now with 2 goals in that game. That could be a massive result for Arnett if it were to hold. Mount Pleasant leading Chapelton Maroons by 3-2 in the 83rd minute. Kimoni Bailey giving the Caribbean champions the lead for the third time as Tommy Lawrence attempts an audacious pass there.
And he finds Jamon Lyle, can get a cross in now for Javane Bryan, but he wins a corner. Titus once more defending pretty valiantly. It's a corner kick for Waterhouse, which Sims will once more go across the take, much to the dismay of a fan or two behind us. Lofted towards the back post, could make its way to Kimani Campbell. Berger out wide now to Sims. Gets a cross in once more. Ooh, sat up nicely, but just couldn't make a connection. Now it's Amos. Tried to get into the box, caused some problems, but now Damani Miller can break. Ooh, poor touch from Daniel Hardy. And I have to say, seems as though he's low on fuel at the moment, Hardy.
Yeah. It seems as if I was a bit hasty in reading out the score for Mount Pleasant versus Chapelton Maroons, because Mount Pleasant have scored once more through Jabari Howell to make it 4-2. That game now in the 85th minute, as this one is as well, here at the Waterhouse Mini Stadium. Stevan Johnson needing some assistance.
And Dwayne Berger makes the throw in now to Dyer. Cross cleared. Headed away by Smith. Coutinho takes it down. Finds Stevan Johnson. Dyer. Lyle. Still retaining possession. Trying to find Bryan, but that's put out of play by Nevada Blair, who hoisted that one out to the stadium. Waterhouse sitting up for another cross coming in. And Shandell Anderson easily takes it down. Benbow! Oh, Moe Morgan. That's perhaps one of his best saves of the night. Once more, not a bad height, but the reflexes on point on that occasion.
He has been so, they say sure-footed, he's been sure-handed. Hasn't let anything slip. It's been so good from Moe Morgan and his entire back four as well. Shandell Anderson has been excellent. Titus Navardo Blair on his homecoming has been fantastic. So good by this Treasure Beach defense. And they found 2 goals as well. Comfortable save by Moe Morgan.
Last it downfield looking for Smith, but into the path of Amos, whose clearance wasn't what Waterhouse would have wanted. Now it's out wide. Take on Berger. Lawrence took a bit of time before getting that one settled. Smith, first time into Lawrence. Goes past a couple of players, ball into Lawrence. Back to Lawrence. Ooh, he's lost possession now. Dyer. Oh, looking for the skill there to get past the defender into the path now of Damani Miller. And he's played into the path. Ooh, is intercepted by Stevan Johnson. Good defending there coming in from Waterhouse. And once more they've sent Javane Bryan to chase. And this time he does get to it. He has Benbow in the box. Not the requisite quality on the cross, however, but they do win a corner kick.
Yeah, Lajan Livingston retreating and getting that one in. That blocking. Corner kick to be taken by Mario Sims once more.
And the less said about that one, the better. Not the greatest corner kick in the world there. And just about 2 minutes left in this game. Have to say the man about to kick this ball out has stood out to me as one of the players that has defined this game.
Yeah, I think you can really take your pick for man of the match for this Treasure Beach team. I think this man limping away, Shandal Anderson, deserves a shout. Titus, I think, has dealt with the threat. And Moe Morgan, he might have lost a couple of man of the match sub points dealing with that one. Almost too composed in the end, but all's well that ends well as he takes that goal kick. But Moe Morgan has certainly been, not only in this game as well, throughout this season, such an impressive goalkeeper. But my pick, and especially because I know you're going to go and have a conversation with them after, and that might be a penalty. Nothing there. Titus getting a bit handsy with Javane Bryan. But yeah, John, yeah, one thing that I have to tell you is that football and TV in general is all about storylines. And when you have a hometown player like Navardo Blair taking his talents all the way to Santa Cruz. Oh, and that's an excellent save once more. You know what, John? You might be right.
Just might be. And once more he's down. And Waterhouse tried to take advantage with a quick corner kick, but that's halted by the referee. And there you can see on the replay, dived to his right, outstretched to get to that and prevent an almost certain goal there.
Yeah, I was just about to say that Navardo Blair probably deserves a significant shout because of his defensive efforts and the storyline of him coming back to his hometown club and keeping a clean sheet, leading a defense that would have now come out of the relegation zone courtesy of this win and clean sheet. But Moe Morgan, especially in the second half, has stood out superbly, making some excellent saves. The one to Barrow, the one there a while ago as well, and then a couple of ones that he's made look easy but are really difficult when you look at it, as well as, you know, knowing when to take his tactical timeouts, knowing when to settle down his defense. And he's just been a real calming presence at the back for this Treasure Beach team. And although there should be around 8 more minutes to go, and a lot can happen in 8 minutes, if this result is to hold, I'm quite certain that he would be the most impressive and important player in this one, ending how it ends.
To Sims, cross coming in, set up nicely, but somehow, even though it was begging to be headed into the back of the net, the score remains Waterhouse 0 and Treasure Beach up 2. They've had opportunities, but brilliant defending from Treasure Beach, as we've mentioned before.
Yeah, good defending and also a bit of luck when needed. That's going to be a foul, yep.
A wise man once told me that you make your own luck in this world, and I have to say, with how brave they've been at times on the counter, they're well deserving of everything that's come their way. Treasure Beach put some pressure early on Waterhouse here, and to have the, as I believe our former DPP put it, testicular fortitude to go away from home and put up a result like this and a performance like this. It takes some doing. Oh, and Javane Bryan, he's gotten past Titus. He's gone around the goalkeeper and he scored. Oh, inexplicable. And Moe Morgan fighting some infighting here with Titus, who I believe you mentioned as a candidate for the man of the match, but I have to say, it does seem as though he has a part to play in terms of how that played out.
Yeah. Late to getting across to that one. And Moe Morgan couldn't bail him out on that occasion. And this will be an interesting last 6 minutes or so in this game.
Smith weaving his way past several defenders, and Damani Miller somehow retains possession. Wonderful skill on the ball on show there, and he's won a free kick somehow for Treasure Beach. But I think that also speaks to the level of intensity that Waterhouse are now playing with. They sense blood in the water. Seems as though Blair is still on the ground for Treasure Beach as well. Anderson, right,
has been struggling for quite some time.
The two of them are up.
Hobbling for about 20 minutes now, and this is what it really means to put your body on the line for your team in real time. Real captain's performance. Being urged to perhaps either get off the pitch or at least let them know if he can continue. In my opinion, he seems in too much pain to do so. No, it's Fleming.
Good luck here, boss. Come with it, relax.
Trying to get the return pass from Smith, unable to. Sims. It's Goodinium. Wide now for Dwayne Berger. Nicholas Lawrence intercepts and keeps it in play. Well, I was about to say he did, but lost it. But good run there, Berger. Trying to find Javane Bryan, but he's put it out of play, unfortunately. Thinking back to that goal, the initial pass was what led to that danger, and then I have to say the 1v1 defending from Titus there, not what you want to see there. Got spun into next week by Javane Bryan, who did well there, the former top goal scorer in this Jamaican Premier League. One is a chance to score another one here, but Moe Morgan once more showing up. As I mentioned before, he couldn't bail Titus out on that last opportunity there for Waterhouse, for Treasure Beach that is. Given everything that's happened, I think he's sure at this point to perhaps win the man of the match. Sims. Benko. Drifting inside, and he finds a pass now to Lyle. Turns, he's under pressure. Skips past the defender, skips past two. But still coming forward now. Lyle brought to ground, and they pointed to the spot. The referee, he's pointed to the spot, and I tell you what, pandemonium here at the Waterhouse Mini Stadium.
Absolutely bedlam. Lyle racing through, and it did at least look like he was caught by Livingston. I'm not sure, but wow.
I'm lost for words. For a long time, it really seemed as though Treasure Beach were going to pull off an upset here and get a win against this Waterhouse team, but such is the never say die spirit of this Waterhouse team that they've managed to get back into this game. And now Cardell Bembo, of all players, has a chance to equalize with just about a minute to go. Can he do it? That is the question. Benbo versus what for me is the man of the match, Moe Morgan. Can he step up and put them level? Benbo! Oh, he's saved! Moe Morgan! And it's still not clear. It's finally put out.
Wow. Wow! The stadium has gone from electric to all of the life being sucked out of it in short time. Moy Morgan stepping up big, stepping up clutch, and saving a crucial penalty for this Treasure Beach team.
And if there were still doubts in your mind, Leger, about who should this result remain, the man of the match is, I have to say, he cemented it there. Well, it wasn't the best kick in the world, but you have to step up in those moments. And Moy Morgan did. There will be protests as to whether or not it was a deserved spot kick, but I'll tell you what, it's a deserved win for Treasure Beach if it stays like this.
Wow. They've done it all. They've had to do it the hard way.
At the moment, I'm truly at a loss for words, ladies and gentlemen. This game has had everything. Moments of madness, moments of magic, drama, substitutions making a difference. Just seen Jamon Lyle, who won a penalty. You've seen some heroes emerge today, and possibly some villains, as Cardell Bembo had a chance to really stamp his class and failed. It's important in those moments, beyond just technique and beyond just your ability to strike a ball well. Most professionals will tell you that nerves are what really matter in a position like that.
Yep. And Waterhouse drew for their most, I would say, experienced attacker to take the penalty. Cardell Bembo, he's seen it all, he's done it all at this level. But what he couldn't do is beat Moy Morgan. What a save. And Treasure Beach, after all this, it does seem in the end that they'll be escaping the relegation zone with a victory.
Played downfield, and now it's Dwayne Berger. Lost the ball. And now Waterhouse in danger here of potentially surrendering a third. Great challenge coming in, however, from Stevan Johnson. And it will be a goal kick. Good defending there to just prevent McGregor from really making any headway. Played towards Benbow. Keeps it in play. Whoa. Lovely bit of ball control there, but seems he didn't keep it in play. And the home support are living with the decision, but have to say from my vantage point, most definitely is the correct decision by the referee that they did go out from where I'm standing. Shando Anderson, hobbling, hurt, broken in body, but not in spirit, not in mind. He's, along with Moy Morgan, suffered, and his suffering is not in vain, as Waterhouse succumb to a shock defeat here at home to Treasure Beach.
What a result this is for Treasure Beach, especially with the context of Harbourview losing by 4-0. They needed this win to escape the relegation zone, and the players have delivered. A massive result, massive victory, and there's been a big shake-up at the base of the Jamaica Premier League table. Treasure Beach beating Waterhouse by 2-1, and what that means, they're now into 12th position, out of the relegation zone. Harbourview into 13th. They're in big trouble, but jubilation for this Treasure Beach team.
Keeper, no? Yeah, man, the keeper.
Wait. Tell tell them say keeper here.
The keeper forget the man of the match. Yeah, man, I keeper, man. Keeper straight.
Chicken, a better way. Introducing air chill chicken. It have more flavor, you don't know what you're missing. It tastes better, full of flavor in the kitchen. Better value, better taste, better chicken. CB chicken, tastes way better. Air chilled chicken, taste way better. Better value, better taste, better chicken. No antibiotic and hormone free. Have you tasted the new air chilled chicken? Or my chicken nut? CB chicken, it tastes way better.
I save from VM Building Society. Every deposit got me here. Every step forward put me in the driver's seat.
For everything you're looking forward to, open an iSave account today. Visit gotomyvm.com to get started.
Every $25,000 you save with iSave earns an entry to win cash or a new home of your own. The more you save, the more entries you get, and every entry has a chance to win a brand new home of your own. VM iSave is the key to winning.
Here's to the early risers, and we are here all-nighters, the go, the extra milers, and let's do it until it works, workers. People who are powerful, because they power through, day after day, challenge after challenge. You see, true power. It's not something you can buy.
Come on, good now. Give me a turn now. Shop. Give me up there, shop, please. Tell me to go on that. Shop, you can't go. Chip drop. Shop. Shop. Coach, I wait. Alright, good to go.
Good night, coach. What a result tonight. What did you think about not just the result, but how your boys played tonight to get this result?
I think we know what we were up against, coming to Waterhouse, it's not going to be easy. But we decided that this is a game that we cannot afford. We cannot afford to lose. We need to get something from the game. A point or 3 points. We got 3 points this afternoon, and we are grateful for it.
Okay, wonderful win, but what do you think was the key component to getting this win tonight?
I think we sit down in the dressing room and we had a long discussion. I make sure that the players understand that this is a game that we have to rise to the occasion. But coming to Waterhouse, I think Waterhouse is our happy hunting ground. Every time we come to Waterhouse from the season start, I think we play well. And as you can see this afternoon, we went out there, we fight, we took the start. Kudos to my goalkeeper, he had an excellent job, He's been keeping well since the start in the back end of the season. So I think he did well. Congratulate to him. I think he's a man of the match. And I think kudos to my team. Hats off to my team. We come out here and we fight. We make some simple errors in the last part, the last 2 minutes of the game, but we stood to it and we fight and we got the 3 points.
And of course, you mentioned, coming into this game what the team would have felt. You guys were on a 9-game streak without a win. So how important was it to, at this stage of the season, get this result, given you guys are in a relegation scrap?
We know we're facing the relegation, so there's no way we're going to come here and lay down and die. We're going to come here, we're going to fight till the end. We know the game playing 90 plus, so I told the guys between me and Coach Ricketts, we said, the last session we had, we said, gentlemen, this Waterhouse already actually in the playoffs already. We need a spot. We can't get to the playoff, but we need a spot inside the Premier League for next season. And that's exactly what we did this afternoon. We came out here and we fight to the end. We fight to the end. We put every sweat and tears in the pitch this afternoon.
All right. Congratulations, coach. That'll do.
Welcome.
Sunshine Snaps, man of the football. Protect it, then come back on the
Sunshine Snacks, sit.
Congratulations on winning the Sunshine Snacks Man of the Match award.
Don't move now, come now, Jack. Don't move. Go. Speaking to Mike here, please. Go on.
Alright, congratulations, Moe. What a game! Unbelievable save at the end, of course. But take us through your thoughts on the performance overall from yourself.
Well, I thought I did pretty well today, and I just came out here and get the work done. We want to stay up in this league, and we are going to fight till the end.
Of course, I just mentioned the penalty save. What was going through your mind? Was there anything that you could use to tell that he was going to kick to your right, or did you just guess?
Well, most keepers guess aside, but I just follow my instinct and leave the trailing leg. Yeah.
And you mentioned staying up. You just had what was perhaps a season-defining performance to make that save and to put on this performance at the end of the season. What do you think it means for your team to get this result?
Well, I think this 3 points is a great 3 points for the team because we have been working hard from week, and as you say, we're not going to stop fighting because we have to stay up.
All right, congratulations, Moe. Enjoy the rest of your night.
Yeah, thank you.
Good night, Coach.
Good night.
What were your thoughts on the performance? Of course, tough result, but what were your thoughts on the performance?
I believe that it's not new that we have problem to score. We have a lot of chances. That it's positive that we create a lot of chances, but it's negative that we miss a penalty and a lot of chances. It was so relevant the performance of the goalkeeper of Treasure Beach, but at the same time I'm worried about the defense today because Treasure Beach attacking a little and score 2, and if you watch all the effort that we need to do to score 1, if in playoff we defend in this way, we have been problems, and I prefer that these things happen today and not in playoff, because it's important to be with the foot on the floor and put all your effort, because Treasure Beach today play with his heart, play with all his effort, and maybe today we don't have our best performance.
When you mentioned not having your best performance, do you think that perhaps how well Damani Miller dealt with the threat of Denardo Thomas in the first half played a part in that? Because I noticed he was marking him pretty closely.
Repeat.
The man marking of Denardo Thomas throughout the game at points, do you think that played a part?
No. All the teams are doing the same, marking man to man in all the pitch. But okay, what was the relevant player on the first half taking the ball and creating a score chance? Denardo Thomas. If Javan, if Barrow, if all score, we are not talking about that. But one thing is the result, and another thing is the performance. Okay, Treasure took the result, but we had 20-25 score chances today, and we had the possession all the match, but today we didn't defend good. This was the problem, because you need to be ready in defensive transition. When we lost the ball, one long pass and in transition a score, and too easy, and we need to work about that.
All right, tough result, Coach. But lastly, just before you go, what do you say to the boys after such a difficult result, after really being on form? You guys were on form and you lost here against an unexpected team. What do you say to the boys?
Tomorrow we were in Barcelona
and today we are not a disaster. Today the was so effective, so accuracy the attacking of Treasure has two and score, and we have a lot of chances and we didn't score. One thing is the result, another thing is the performance of the analysis of the game. To say congratulations to Treasure, because we know that are fighting by the relegation, but one thing is the performance, another thing is the result.
All right, tough result, coach, but all the best for the rest of the season.
Thank you.
Buy or collect. It's something that starts on the inside, and you always know it when you see it. Sunshine Snacks Peanuts, proud supporters of the powerful.
Ray and Never, feel we culture, yo!
New beginning, we winning, so share our spirit where you living, yeah.
Share it!
I make we all a one par, you don't know we come from far.
From far, anytime we rep, feel we country. Rear it have to come with we.
No matter with the bad vibes.
Poor rear a celebration time.
I feel we culture. Make we show ya Jamaican culture.
Ray and Nephew overproof from we just a do it for we culture.